following is a presentation of SC State Athletics.
After a disappointing 3-point loss to Bethune-Cookman last week in Daytona Beach, Florida, where the Bulldogs had 2 touchdowns erased with penalties, South Carolina State returns to the friendly confines of the Oliver C. Dawson Bulldog Stadium to take on Howard. Will the bite be back in the Bulldogs, or will Howard's desire to get the first win of the season be too much? You are about to find out next on the Buddy Pough Show.
You're watching the Buddy Pough Show, featuring highlights of SC State University Bulldog football. This week's matchup, the Howard University Bison versus your SC State University Bulldogs. Our sponsors are the County of Orangeburg, Palmetto Health, the South Carolina Education Lottery, State Farm Insurance, the Regional Medical Center, the City of Orangeburg, the South Carolina Department of Agriculture, Vital Care, and Bill Owens Custom Clothing. And now our host, Ernest Robinson.
Howard University is coached by one of the most prolific offensive players ever to play in the MEAC in Gary Harrell. In his day, Flea played on some of the best teams Howard ever had, and many folks believe he can get them back to that point.
They did start off with a little bit of an overload schedule-wise. The Boston College Appalachian deal really hurt them some, but since then they've been giving up less and less points each week and been playing better. Since they got into the league, you can see the steady improvement of this team. So Coach Harrell and his crew, Coach Petty on defense, those guys do a fantastic job. So you can always depend on them to be better, especially after having had this open week.
They have to be disappointed, much like us. A close loss last week to Norfolk State for them in overtime at home. They don't have many home games this year. Emotionally, Coach, how will that play into what they do here today, and how will that affect you? Because you both are desperate teams coming into this game.
You're exactly right. And, we've been wondering exactly how it will affect both of us, in particular them, because, it's a big deal to know how your opponent plays. But, we think they'll be better. We think they'll try to do some new stuff, some stuff that we hadn't seen, simply because they've got some extra time to plan. But at the same time, you can resonate, you can resonate, you can marinate in that doggone loss for 2-3 weeks sometimes. That doesn't help either. So we don't know. It'll be interesting to see how they play. And then we better play. But we've had a tough week of practice. We've gotten after them pretty good. And, we expected our guys to play better. It's a big deal for us process-wise to get rid of some of the procedural stuff, the movements and that kind of stuff.
Coach, when you dominate a game like we thought we did last week against Bethune-Cookman to come up short, how long did it take the kids to kind of reprocess and get that out and get moving on?
Well, kids move real fast that way. They on the way back, on the bus. They're pretty much okay. Us old folk, we kind of have a harder time getting back to the, beginning of things. But at the same time, by Monday, it's behind you. You got to go ahead and make it happen.
You're talking about Gary Harrell, who, of course, was a prolific offensive player in this league. What will his influence have on this program, Coach, as they try to go forward? Howard has been a part of this league as long as we've been a part of the league, and an important part of this league.
It has, and Coach Harrell's a never-give-up kind of guy. You can pretty much bet that they'll always have something offensively in particular that will give you some issues. They'll spread around some. They've been a power football team, and they're always good up front, but at the same time, you can bet that Coach Harrell has something for us offensively that we hadn't seen before.
What's it going to take for you to get a win here today at home? You think going to be a good crowd and a tough team?
We've got to play better offensively. We got to be better procedurally. We got to make sure that we don't make as many mistakes. We got to get rid of some of those. And then on defense, we got to play our usual hard-nosed football game.
Here's the way the Bulldogs started against Howard on Saturday.
We actually started Kendall Cobb at tight end because Tamarick Hemingway had been out most of the week with a little bit of a strep infection, a little bit of a hurt foot. So, we ended up having to get him in there. And then in our offensive line, Robert Stevenson played a good bit because Justin Evans was banged up a little bit. So we had some guys that we had and had a chance to play. It was good.
On the defensive side, good to see Chris Pauling back in there, and he was active very early in the football game.
It was. He picked the first play of the game, picked the pass off the first play of the game and ran it back for a score. So, it's good to have him back. He's not quite full speed still, but he's getting close now. And then, we had a couple other guys, Chestnut, those guys played a good bit to give us a good mixture on our defensive side of the ball.
And the special teams, as they usually are, you had Scandrick, Petaway, of course, another good job for them. And that was the way we started on Saturday against Howard. And we are ready to go here from Orangeburg. It is going to be Avery at the 12-yard line, at the 15, at the 20, cuts back at the 25, still on his feet across the 30, spins at the 35. So a pretty good return for Avery. Now Colvin takes a couple steps in motion. Cunningham play action pass, back to throw. Cunningham throws it out, intercepted. Chris Pauling at the 30 for South Carolina State. 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Chris Pauling with a pick six, 33 yards on the return. And 20 seconds into the game, South Carolina State's defense have us on the board. On for the point after touchdown is Tyler Skandrick. His toe is in it, and it is good. So with 20 seconds into the first quarter, the Bulldogs on the board on a 31-yard interception return by Chris Pauling. There's a quarterback snap, back to pass is Cunningham in trouble, being chased, brought down, tackle back at the 22-yard line, coming in, making the tackle for South Carolina State for the loss of yardage. That is number 49 for the Bulldogs, Bryant Wilson. In motion now from right to left, that is Jalen Avery. They throw the screen back to the right, it's picked off by South Carolina State. Darius Leonard at the 50, at the 45, 40, 35, 30. Leonard is going all the way. Darius Leonard, another pick six for the South Carolina State defense. Johnson snap, Petaway's hole, Skandrick's toe is in it, and it's good. And with 7:39 to go here in the first quarter, South Carolina State's defense has put 14 points on the board, 14 for the Bulldogs, nothing for the Bison. York again, play action fake, Caleb wants to throw. Caleb throwing, got a man caught at about the 40-yard line, on the move for South Carolina State and up the field. That's Mikael Moody. Mikael Moody's going all the way for the score. Mikael Moody from 66 yards out from Caleb York.
And the Bulldogs getting ready to go up 21-0.
Skandrick's toe is in it. It is up, and it is good. So it's 4:32 to go here in the first quarter. And, folks, we got a great crowd on hand, late arriving crowd, but we got a bunch of folks in the Dawson Bulldogs Stadium as South Carolina State has put 21 on the board in the first quarter. Kalen Johnson has come in at quarterback. He's a redshirt freshman out of Pearland, Texas. Back to pass. Has a little screen action and is right through the running back's hands. Shotgun formation now. Three Bulldogs are to the right, one to the left. Collick the snap, back to pass. Here comes pressure up the middle. Collick sees it, steps up in the pocket, still on his feet, trying to get back outside. Collick stiff arms the guy, and Collick throws it out there. Quan Caldwell come up with the catch. My goodness, how did Quan Caldwell catch that football at the 38-yard line? Tightly covered over there. What a throw by L.A. Collick. That is the end of the first quarter of play. Our score, South Carolina State 21, Howard nothing.
Howard's offense obviously, changing at the quarterbacks, doing what they got to do, trying to get some points on the board. 14:22 remaining in the second quarter.
Johnson back to pass. Johnson some happy feet, and he's in trouble. He's got pressure coming. He's going to be sacked back at about the 37-yard line from the pistol formation is York. Play action fake. He's looking long, and he wants a lot. He throws it out there. Moody again. Got it at the 35 down to the 30-yard line. What a beautiful toss by Caleb York. Mikael Moody on the deep post, and he just went and got it. To the left for South Carolina State. Can't see who that is over there. That's Jamison. Play action fake. Throwing it over the middle, and nobody's home. And a penalty marker down. Cobb was held over there. Dondre Lewis Freeman in the backfield in the pistol behind Caleb York. There's a snap. They give it to Lewis Freeman. Over the left side, Lewis Freeman cuts through at the 10. Lewis Freeman cuts back at the 5. Trying to bring him down. Bulldogs push him forward. Still pushing him forward down to the 3-yard line. Shotgun formation. They give it to Dondre Lewis Freeman. Cuts back at the 5. Lewis Freeman into the end zone. Dondre Lewis Freeman from 11 yards out.
Offense doing what they had to do to come out here and put some points on the board.
Well, the defense is making them look bad. Point after is up and good. That's the end of the first half. South Carolina State 28, Howard nothing. When we come back, we'll have the Pough Mental Health Injury Report and your second half highlights on this edition of the Buddy Pough Show.
It's different here. so different that it will change everything you expect from a hospital. Because here, the care you receive transcends even the beauty of your surroundings. And not only does it look different, it also sounds and tastes and feels like something you've never experienced before. Introducing Palmetto Health Baptist Park Ridge. Choose a physician by visiting us online or by calling 803-296-CARE.
Since 2002, the lottery has helped award more than 1 million scholarships. So when you play, you're not just taking a chance, you're also giving one.
I was off my game. Every day, my hip got worse and worse.
The coach's arthritis progressed to the point where his joint was bone on bone. Between the pain and the loss of range of motion, he decided to have the hip replaced here at the Regional Medical Center.
I was walking the very next day. I was going so fast, they said, slow down, coach, slow down. It feels great to be coaching again.
The Regional Medical Center. We're changing how you think about health care.
You stumble over a blade of grass. Come on.
Clothing for Coach Buddy Pough, provided by Bill Owens Custom Clothing. Bill Owens Custom Clothing is a proud sponsor of the Buddy Pough Show.
Coach, the defense took the pressure off the offense, getting on the board really quick. It had to really take a lot of pressure off the offense, seeing those points up early.
It did. And anytime you get a score that way, I think it takes some of the pressure off of your offense that way. It gave us a chance to kind of settle in and relax, and then they come back and score again, so I thought that worked out well.
You know, we talked about Darius Leonard, got an interception return for a touchdown. You finally go on offense, and you get a beautiful pass play with Caleb York hitting Mikel Moody on the seam.
And Moody can go the difference at any time. And we need to get him healthy because he kind of got banged up a little bit as the game went on with a hamstring.
There's some questions, Coach, the running game. You didn't really get to establish the running game. I don't know if there was any need for it because you threw it so well, but I know that's something that you're going to need that in your arsenal head down the stretch.
And we do need to improve it, but at the same time, because it was going the way it did, we didn't necessarily push it that much. So we just kind of just said, let's see if we can keep it going the way it was going.
All right, folks, on this episode of the Buddy Pough Show, it's time for the Palmetto Health Injury Report, Coach. And, you know, we've been kind of a mass unit all season long, especially coming off the Bethune-Cookman. Where are we now with the injuries and what we'll have going in Delaware State?
Well, we've got some guys banged up. Tamarick Hemingway has got a little bit of a foot ailment and has a little bit of a case of the strep throat deal. We've also got Mikel Moody with a little bit of an injury to his hamstring and to his foot. And then Ty Cravens came up during the game today with a little bit of a foot deal. But in most cases, you know, we think those guys are going to be back at some point, maybe even next week, but we'll have to see as the week goes on.
All right, there's your Palmetto Health Injury Report on this edition of the Buddy Pough Show. We'll take a time out. When we come back, we'll have your Regional Medical Center all-heart player on this edition of the Buddy Pough Show.
SC State University is where you will find unlimited possibilities. With more than 70 standout degree programs, students get the kind of education that helps shape them into tomorrow's leaders. Our student life is vibrant with many exciting opportunities, and our athletic teams have hearts of champions. SC State University is open for success. Visit us today at scsu.edu.
It's different here. So different that it will change everything you expect from a hospital. Because here, the care you receive transcends even the beauty of your surroundings. And not only does it look different, it also sounds and tastes and feels like something you've never experienced before. Introducing Palmetto Health Baptist Park Ridge. Choose a physician by visiting us online or by calling 803-296-CARE.
Welcome back to the Buddy Pough Show. I'm Paul Harris, a student media relations intern at South Carolina State University, and I am now joined by Tamarick Hemingway, who's a grad student and tied in at South Carolina State University. He's from Loris, South Carolina. Tamarick, how's it going?
It's going pretty well.
Where exactly is Loris at in South Carolina?
It's 10 to 15 minutes in Atlanta, Myrtle Beach.
Okay, and now you're halfway through the season. What are some things that you have done to prepare for this upcoming season?
Well, over the summer, I was unfortunate to actually be here to actually work out with Big John, so I had to conduct my own workouts in Charleston, South Carolina. I pretty much did power-based workouts like bench, squats, power clean, stuff like that.
Now, you were in Charleston for a reason. Apparently, you had an internship there. Can you talk a little bit about that?
I was at Charleston International Airport with the CCAA, which is Charleston County Aviation Authority. There, I went to various departments such as human resource management, maintenance, police department, and I just worked under executives there and actually shadowed them as well.
Like I said, you're a grad student at South Carolina State University, so this is your 5th year, last year on the football field. What are some physical changes that you have been through the last 5 years here?
Well, when I first came in here, I was 180 pounds, and now I'm 240 pounds, so I gained roughly maybe 70 pounds since I've been here.
Now, you graduated back in May. What was your major in undergrad, and what are you majoring in now?
My major in undergrad was business management, and now I'm working on my general MBA.
How do you think your performance on the field has been so far this season?
I consider myself as being average right now, so I have a lot to work on, but I think it's going pretty well so far.
Well, Tamarick, good luck on the rest of the season.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
That was Tamarick Hemingway joining us.
Welcome back to the Buddy Pough Show. We talk about the Regional Medical Center All-Heart Player. And for those folks who don't know, the All-Heart Player shows it on and off the field, goes through some adversity, coach, and even does it well on the football field. And we had a guy that fits those requirements this week against Howard.
He did, and he is our all-heart guy. He'd been out for a little while, and we could certainly miss him and see why we miss him today. But the first play of the game, he picks the ball off and goes the distance. And then in the second half, he gets another play that way. So this guy, Chris Pauling, is really a good all-heart style kind of guy.
Chris Pauling, our Regional Medical Center All-Heart Player this week on the Buddy Pough Show. When we come back, we'll get the Saturday second half highlights for Bulldogs and Bison on this edition of the Buddy Pough Show.
My first thought was, what's going to happen to me? Am I going to live? My second thought was, I needed to live because I thought about my children.
Betty's mammogram showed a lump in her breast. We surgically removed the cancer.
And Betty was referred to Mabry Cancer Center, where she received chemotherapy and radiation therapy.
It was an opportunity to live again.
The Regional Medical Center. We're changing how you think about health care.
Today, I'm cancer-free.
Since 2002, the lottery has helped award more than 1 million scholarships. So when you play, you're not just taking a chance. You're also giving one.
SC State University is where you will find unlimited possibilities. With more than 70 standout degree programs, students get the kind of education that helps shape them into tomorrow's leaders. Our student life is vibrant with many exciting opportunities, and our athletic teams have hearts of champions. SC State University is open for success. Visit us today at scsu.edu.
Welcome back to Orangeburg. Howard with the football to begin the second half. Kalen Johnson in the quarterback to start the second half. Throws an interception to Chris Pauling. Just as Howard started the football game, Chris Pauling with an interception to return for a touchdown. This a return of only 3 yards, but Chris Pauling, his second interception of the game. Shotgun formation, Caleb York, the quarterback. Hemingway in motion, sets up as the H-back to the right. Play action, rolling back to his right. York throwing long, got Leonard Jameson wide open at the 20-yard line. What a nice toss. Caleb York to Leonard Jameson. down to the 19-yard line of Howard. 1st and 10 Bulldogs. 4 down lineman for Howard. Only 1 deep safety. Back to pass is York. York throwing, got Hemingway over the middle on the reception. The big guy gets down to about the 11-yard line. That's another Bulldog 1st down. 2 receivers are to the left, 2 to the right. Short side to the quarterback's right. Caleb back to pass, throws, got Leonard at the goal line. Leonard trying to fight, gets in. Leonard Jamison hit at about the 3-yard line, broke the tackle of 2 players, got into the end zone for the score from 11 yards out.
Great run, great drive following that interception return and getting it done. You say whatever you will of me. It made a big difference in this ball game. Chris
James
Paulding.
Johnson with a good snap. Pettaway with the hole, and Tyler Skandrick's toe is up and true. And that's where we are. South Carolina State 35, Howard nothing. Here comes Avery from right to left in motion. There's the snap. Kalen Johnson back to pass. Here comes pressure from the outside. He sees it, throws it over the middle, caught, fumbles the football, and now they're going to rule it incomplete. I thought Miles Williams had that football, was making his way back upfield. Kalen Johnson, the quarterback. 2 tight ends, single set back, play action fake. Kalen Johnson throws the little screen, and he is wrapped up, brought down. That was number 1, Tyson, on tackle for South Carolina State right there on the spot. That was Reggie Owens at quarterback. Kalen Johnson for Howard. In motion is Rodney Tyson from left to right. Back to pass is Johnson. Johnson forced out of the pocket, in trouble, throws it out there, and no one's home. Welcome back to Orangeburg, split backfield. Caleb York back to pass, looking over the middle, throws it behind Leonard Jamison. Somehow Jamison pulls it down, gets on the ground at the 35-yard line, but Howard picks it up. I thought he was down, but they get it into the end zone, and Leonard Jamison fumbles the football, had it stripped from him.
But they're saying the ball bounced out.
Fleck with the point after. It is up and it is good. So, with 3:39 to go here in the 3rd, Howard is on the board. Our score, South Carolina State 35, Howard 7. John Fleck on the punt. We've got 10 on the line of scrimmage. We're going after him. And they get it. Tevin Richards blocked the punt. And it's recovered by South Carolina State at the 7-yard line. But it was Tevin Richards to come in and to block that punt.
Put 2 touchdowns on the leaderboard here in the 3rd quarter.
2 tight ends. Collick keeps it, runs behind Big Cobb over on the right side. Adrian Collick into the end zone for the score. James Johnson the snap. Jerome Pettaway the hole. Tyler Skandrick's toe is in it. It is up and good. Our score, South Carolina State 42, Howard 7. Pistol formation, shotgun split backfield. Now going in motion is Robert Mercer from left to right. Rolling to his right, Kalen Johnson attacking from left to right. Johnson keeps it himself, has his head nearly taken off by Javon Hargraves at the 31-yard line. Man, that looked painful from up here.
One of the best defensive players in the country.
Chacon, that's what you can call him. You can call him Chacon Hargraves. Fleck kicking it off. Oh, man, Fleck got off a beautiful punt. Jameson better go back. Jameson feels it at the 8, trying to get back upfield. Jameson now at the 15, Jameson back at the 20, at the 25. Can he stay in bounds? Cuts back at the 35, up to the 40, still on his feet at the 40. Leonard Jameson, 1 man to beat at the 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10. They take the ball out. Touchdown. Oh, my goodness. Leonard Jameson.
Can you believe that?
What a return for a touchdown. Leonard Jameson. That football was back inside the 10-yard line. He stayed with it. His blockers got back, and everyone was aware of the blocks from behind and everything else that comes with that. What a return for a touchdown.
Another great return.
Leonard Jameson with the return. Tyler Skandrick with the point after. And we're into the 4th quarter, and the Bulldogs on the board again.
All season long, this defense has been one of the best in the MEAC.
Kalen Johnson's back. The quarterback throws it over the middle. And man, Miles Williams caught. And Miles Williams nearly has his head taken off.
He's a phenomenal football player. He's the head coach over there. This is his 4th year, trying to get his team jacked up.
Rodney Tyson on the move at the 30. Tyson breaks outside by Philip Henry. Henry able to knock him out of bounds at the 8-yard line before he goes into the end zone.
Trying to get some offensive points on the board. Their offense has not scored any points here this afternoon.
They set it down at the 20-yard line. It'll be a 30-yard field goal attempt. Fleck, as long as this year's from 40. It is up, and it is good. South Carolina State, after losing last week to Bethune-Cookman, come back and get a huge win in conference over the Howard University. Bison by a score of 49-2. Coach, going into the second half, I thought we were very confident. You established some things, but more importantly, did not allow Howard to do anything offensively that they wanted to do.
And all we really wanted to do in the second half was get our offense going a little bit and continue to play a lot of guys, because it was an opportunity with us being ahead 28-0, I think, at the half, to play some guys. So we got that done.
When you look on the defensive side, because I saw the Watkins kids got an opportunity to play, the Ford kid, freshman out of Dillon, got to play. Games like this really give guys game experience, which you can't really trade that for practice time. It's nothing like being in the game.
And that's how you build your program. I mean, really build it in a way where those guys get some experience in those kinds of games. And then, you know, when they have to play, when they're back to the point where they're the starters on a particular team, then those guys have some experience this way.
You talk about this past week in the MEAC, North Carolina A&T defeating Bethune-Cookman. That makes every game from here on out so important as we head to Dover, Delaware, Coach. Sometimes Dover, Delaware can be a difficult place to play just having to go to Dover, Delaware.
You're exactly right. And it's going to be their homecoming. You know, we got to drive 11 hours on a bus. You know, you put a whole lot of ingredients in that deal, and it makes for a tough trip. But at the same time, our back's against the wall now. We do have our destiny in our own hand with A&T winning today against Bethune-Cookman. So that gives us a chance to say, hey, we got to win out from here.
Dover, Delaware, this Delaware State team, what do you know about them? New coach, different program. Kermit Blunt had been there for so many years. What do you know about them going into this football game?
Well, Kenny Carter is their head coach, and Kenny was on Charlie Strong's staff up in Louisville and was a Citadel guy, you know, many years back from Camden, South Carolina, and he's a great football coach. And, of course, he's rebuilding that program from scratch, doing some things his way. Looks like they're having some tough times because they hadn't won a game, but at the same time, you know, they'll definitely be ready for homecoming this coming Saturday.
I tell you what, Coach, we're looking forward to it, folks, and we're looking forward to seeing you as well. Up in Dover, Delaware, if you can make the drive, kickoff on Saturday, still
2 o'clock, I think. Yeah.
2 o'clock kickoff up at Dover, Delaware. And, of course, we hope to see you up in Dover, Delaware at Alumni Stadium when the Bulldogs take on the Delaware State Hornets. And, of course, next week right here on Fox Sports South on the Buddy Pough Show.
Thank you for watching the Buddy Pough Show, featuring highlights of SC State University Bulldog football. Our sponsors are the County of Orangeburg, Palmetto Health, the South Carolina Education Lottery, State Farm Insurance, the Regional Medical Center, the City of Orangeburg, the South Carolina Department of Agriculture, Vital Care, and Bill Owens Custom Clothing. Join us again next week for exciting highlights of SC State University Bulldog football.